In the world of boxing, greatness is never guaranteed. Every champion eventually faces a challenger hungry to change the story. And now, Dmitry Bivol prepares to defend his place among boxing's elite against undefeated German contender Michael Eifert. One fighter enters with experience, precision, and world championship pedigree. The other arrives with ambition, confidence, and the opportunity of a lifetime.
But we're not seeing it so far.
The thing is, every time he makes a move, like good shot, good left hook there from Bivol.
Yeah, Bivol stepping on the pressure. Let's see if Zurdo. This is the fight Zurdo wants.
Beugenden Sieg. Geht das sehr ruhig bedacht an. Erste gute Hände übernimmt Eifert, der immer unterwegs Vater geworden.
For years, Dmitry Bivol has established himself as one of the most technically gifted fighters in modern boxing. His style is built on discipline. Every movement inside the ring serves a purpose. His footwork creates angles. His jab controls distance. And his timing consistently frustrates opponents. Unlike many champions, Bivol rarely relies on emotion or aggression. Instead, he relies on precision. Round after round, he slowly breaks opponents down with clean combinations and intelligent positioning. That consistency has made him one of the hardest fighters in boxing to defeat. Bivol's global reputation reached another level after his dominant victory over Saul Alvarez. Many fans expected the Mexican superstar to overpower him. Instead, Bivol delivered a masterclass. He controlled the pace of the fight from start to finish. His movement neutralized pressure, his jab disrupted rhythm, and his composure never changed under the bright lights. By the end of the night, the boxing world fully understood what made Dmitry Bivol special. He was not simply a champion. He was elite.
And Bivol is not loading up on punches as well.
We haven't seen a lot of fighters come after Canelo the way that Bivol has.
Control, not giving up control.
Yeah, he's frustrated.
His fight of the year, but Bivol showed up and showed out and may have just beaten the pound-for-pound king.
Now comes Michael Eifert, an undefeated contender stepping onto the biggest stage of his career. While casual fans may still be learning his name, Eifert has quietly built respect within boxing circle through disciplined performances and technical fundamentals. He fights with patience, he understands distance, and he avoids unnecessary risks. That immediately separates him from many challengers who enter title fights recklessly. Eifert approaches boxing with structure, and against a champion like Bivol, structure matters.
Das ist das Ziel. Er läuft und läuft und läuft von Michael Diesel Eifert. Auch schon in dieser ersten. Frank Michael Maas hört das Kopfzeichen. Auch der Mann aus Venezuela. Pflichtsieg jetzt hier gegen El Coyote. Ich kann mir nicht vorstellen, dass er diese zweite Runde überlebt. Relativ unsauberer Kampf. Jetzt kniet er ab auf den Ringseilen. Jetzt
On paper, this fight represents a fascinating technical battle. Bivol's greatest strengths come from control. He controls range with his footwork. He controls exchanges with timing. And he controls momentum with accuracy. Very few fighters are able to force him out of position. That is why opponents often struggle to win rounds against him.
You know, when we're saying about knockout and this person in front of me on the wall, you know, it's Muhammad Ali. I just love history, you know, and I think this was one of the amazing finishing fight when he was fighting against Foreman.
But Michael Eifert brings physical advantages into the fight. His reach and discipline could allow him to compete at long range early in the contest. If Eifert can establish his jab and maintain composure, he may create difficult moments for the champion. The challenge, however, is sustaining that success over 12 rounds. Because as fights progress, Bivol becomes increasingly dangerous.
Seinem Verband in der IBF, kann ist herausfordern, aber liest überzeugenden Sieg. Geht das sehr ruhig bedacht an. Erste gute Hände, übernimmt Eifert, der immer unterwegs Vater geworden.
One of the reasons Dmitry Bivol remains so dominant is his ability to stay calm under pressure. Even during difficult exchanges, his technique rarely falls apart. His defense remains disciplined, his balance stays controlled, and his decision-making remains sharp. That level of composure creates frustration for opponents. Many fighters enter the ring with confidence against Bivol, but after several rounds of missing punches and losing exchanges, frustration begins to grow. Once frustration appears, mistakes follow, and Bivol consistently capitalizes on mistakes.
Let's play sports together. 3, 2, 1, go.
For Michael Eifert, this fight represents more than just a championship opportunity. It represents a chance to transform his entire career. A victory over Dmitry Bivol would instantly change his position in the boxing world. World recognition, championship status, and a place in boxing history. That possibility creates motivation unlike anything else. And Eifert appears determined to prove he belongs among the best fighters in the division. This fight may ultimately be decided by discipline. Bivol has built his career on maintaining structure for every second of every round. He rarely wastes punches, he rarely loses focus, and he rarely gives opponents opportunities to capitalize. Eifert must attempt to match that discipline while also taking enough risks to win rounds. That balance is extremely difficult to maintain against elite champions, especially against a fighter as experienced as Dmitry Bivol. Several scenarios could unfold once the opening bell rings. The most expected outcome is a controlled performance from Bivol. Using movement, timing, and accuracy, he could gradually separate himself on the scorecards before potentially forcing a late stoppage. Another possibility is a competitive technical battle. If Eifert successfully establishes his jab early and maintains defensive discipline, he could create a closer fight than many expect.
Поехал, оп, крайний, оп, давай, 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 еще 3, 2, 1, оп, слазил, молодец.
And then there is boxing's most unpredictable scenario, the upset. Because throughout boxing history, one punch has changed countless careers. One mistake can instantly alter momentum, and if Eifert finds the perfect moment, the entire fight could shift dramatically. For Dmitry Bivol, this fight is about preserving greatness. Elite champions face constant pressure to remain perfect. Every title defense becomes another test of consistency and focus. For Michael Eifert, this fight is an opportunity to achieve something unforgettable. Very few fighters receive the chance to challenge for world titles on this level, and even fewer manage to shock the world. But that possibility is what makes boxing unique.
Of course, a lot of thoughts comes to your head, but I trying to cut them, all of them, you know, and be focused. Somebody look at the fight now. There is some people on the arena which you know, you see them, but then you just, this thought just comes to your head, you just cut them, you know. And most of the time I'm trying to focus at the moment also, you know. I'm here, I'm standing on this floor, how is my shoes, it's fine. Breathe, to feel the air in the arena. Here you hear the some sound, and just trying to be focused. How is my hands in these gloves? Fine. It's like you were trying to be at the moment.
As the fight approaches, most analysts expect Dmitry Bivol to remain in control. Michael Eifert's discipline and physical tools may allow him to compete during the early rounds. However, over time, Bivol's experience, precision, and consistency are expected to become overwhelming. His ability to minimize mistakes has consistently separated him from challengers throughout his career. But regardless of the outcome, Michael Eifert now enters the biggest moment of his boxing journey. And in boxing, history can change with a single punch.
Yes, guys, welcome to Red Corner Boxing. So the IBF have today ordered Dmitry Bivol to defend his light heavyweight world championship against #1 contender Michael Eifert. Eifert's been mandatory for 27 months. It's about time, but we'll discover the Baturbiev trilogy. Let me know what you thought.
The stage is set. A champion defending his dominance. An undefeated challenger chasing history. Dmitry Bivol versus Michael Eifert. Only one question remains. What happens when the bell rings?